You wrap up every workday feeling like your soul has been put into a paper shredder. The Sunday scaries have become a full blown panic attack, and you barely recognize the irritable, anxious person you see in the mirror. You know your job is toxic, but walking out the door tomorrow and heading to your job just does not feel like it's in the cards. If this sounds painfully familiar, then you've just found the toolkit you've been searching for. Advice like just quit is a privilege. Not everyone has a 6-month emergency fund, a partner whose salary can cover you, or a job market that's begging for your specific skills. Maybe you're sticking around for health insurance, you're determined to see a project through, waiting for a promo, a title, so you can just look for the next role. Whatever your reason, you're in the shit. But being stuck doesn't mean it has to feel like a punching bag. The relentless stress from a toxic job can do a serious number on your mental and physical health, leading to burnout, anxiety, and worse. And this is not just a feeling, it's a fact. One recent study found that 87% of employees say a toxic workplace has negatively impacted their mental health, with 73% directly linking that environment to burnout. That's a massive number. And it's why we're not just going to talk about the problem. We're going to build your personalized survival kit. We'll break down 5 clear practical strategies you can start putting into action today. These are concrete steps to help you protect your sanity, reclaim your power, and secretly build your escape route. It's time to shift from just surviving to strategically navigating this difficult chapter of your career with the right planning and coping tools. Okay, so first things first. This has nothing to do with your impossible boss or your coworker who thrives on drama. It has everything to do with you and a vital mental pivot. You have to learn to healthily and emotionally detach and stop taking the toxicity personally. Think of a toxic workplace as a constant, nasty storm. If you just stand there, you're going to get drenched and be miserable. The goal is to build a metaphorical umbrella. When your manager sends yet another passive aggressive email, or a gossipy colleague tries to drag you into office politics, your gut reaction is probably anger, defensiveness, or simply looking for a place to hide. It's human. But in that kind of environment, that emotional reaction is exactly what drains your battery. This can look like thoughts spiraling or you just shut down. The mindset shift is realizing that your behavior isn't about you. It's likely more about the other person's own deliverables, the pressures from their own manager, or maybe a lack of learned leadership skills. You may not have control over what they do, but you have 100% control over your response. So, how do we do this? First, practice observation without absorption. When something toxic happens, picture yourself as a scientist studying an odd cell. Mentally note, that's interesting. There's that passive aggressive email again. But don't let that seep into your system. Don't let their chaos become your chaos. Second, put your energy into one thing that's yours, like the quality of your work. This does 2 brilliant things. It shields you by focusing your mind on something productive, and it creates a powerful, visible contrast between your professionalism and the dysfunction occurring around you. This is your armor. It protects your self worth because no matter what's going on, you can look at what you've accomplished and say, I did a great job, and I can be proud of that. Remind yourself every day this is a season, not a life sentence. Your job is a situation, it's not your identity. This might sound a little cynical, but in toxic workplaces, it's one of the smartest things that you can do to protect yourself. Think of it as your own personal insurance policy. You're going to become a meticulous, unemotional record keeper of toxic incidents. Why is this critical? Well, because let's be honest here, toxic environments thrive on gaslighting, confusion, and he said, she said drama. A written log slices right through that nonsense. It gives you concrete evidence if you ever need to talk to HR or a lawyer. But even if you never show it to a soul, documenting validates your experience. It stops you from asking, am I crazy? Did that really happen? And it helps you to look at the situation like a detective using your logical brain rather than letting your emotional brain take control. So get a notebook that you keep at home or start a private file on your personal computer. Never, ever, ever on the work device. For each incident, log the essentials: the date and time, was the situation in person, a virtual call or email, who was there, what was said or done. Now think of yourself as being a court reporter. Be objective and specific as much as possible. Make sure that you also include, were there any witnesses and how did it impact you and your ability to work that day? So, for example, instead of writing, my boss was a jerk to me, you write, on August 5th at 10 a.m. in a virtual meeting, John called my report amateur hour in front of the entire team. I felt humiliated, disrespected, and I struggled to concentrate on my work for the next hour. Do you see the difference? One is a complaint and the other is evidence. So save nasty emails, screen grab weird messages, keep copies of unfair performance reviews, and get in the habit of sending recap emails after meetings and interactions. Building this paper trail tells a clear story, and this file is your power. You get emails at 10 p.m., calls on Saturday, and urgent tasks dropped on your desk at 4:59 p.m. on a Friday. This isn't just about being overworked. It's a fundamental lack of respect that's a direct pipeline to burnout. Protecting your time and energy isn't a luxury, it's a basic need. Setting boundaries means deciding what's acceptable and what's not, and then this is the hardest part: communicating those limits. This can feel terrifying, especially if you're a people pleaser, but it's a non negotiable. So start small. Take your full lunch break. Don't eat at your desk. If you can, physically leave the office. When your workday ends, log off. Seriously, turn off the notifications on your phone. You can even set up an auto reply for evenings and weekends saying that you'll respond the next business day. This helps to set boundaries while also sending a response. So the person who sees your email or ping has an acknowledgement that you saw the message, but you're setting a boundary about when you will fully respond. Learning to say no professionally is a game changer in your career. It doesn't have to be a confrontation. So let's say your boss gives you a ridiculous last minute task. Instead of saying a flat no, try this: I can definitely tackle this. Right now, I'm focused on project A, B, and C to meet tomorrow's deadline. Which one of these projects should I deprioritize to make this new task the focus? This little magic trick does a few things. It shows you're not refusing work. It makes your current workload visible, and it puts the decision back on them. It frames you as organized, not insubordinate. I come across far too many professionals hiding their overwhelm and overflowing project load for fear of being seen as a complainer. However, this does a disservice to you and your department. This hides the need for staffing and perpetuates the cycle of toxicity, overwhelm, and burnout. Trying to survive a toxic job alone is a recipe for misery. It's isolating and mentally brutal. You have to build a support system both inside and outside of work. Inside work, identify your allies. Those are the colleagues who seem professional, grounded, and may give you a look just as bewildered as you feel. In no way am I saying that you need to start a revolution, but having one or two people you can share a knowing glance or a quiet conversation is a lifeline. It's a reminder that you're not crazy or interpreting things incorrectly. Just be smart about it. Avoid getting stuck in gossip spirals that just add to the toxicity. Keep your circle small and trusted. And I understand that you may not feel comfortable with anyone within your organization. So, even more important is your people outside of work. Your friends, your family, and partner are your connections back to reality. They can remind you that this job does not define you. So, when you come home, vent if you need to, put a time limit on it. Give yourself 15 to 20 minutes to unload and then consciously change your focus. Dive into a hobby that has zero to do with your job. Join a sports league, take a pottery class, learn to code, read a book. These aren't distractions or avoiding. They are how you rebuild your self esteem and sense of identity that a toxic job works so hard to chip away. And please, if you're truly struggling, consider talking to a therapist or a career coach. A therapist can give you coping tools for stress, and a coach can help you strategize for your exit. So let's look at this a little deeper. All of these strategies are for surviving the short term. Most likely, the solution to the situation is to leave the environment. While you're coping, you need to be quietly and strategically planning your leave. This is what turns you from a victim of circumstances into an architect of your own future. Think of this as your secret mission. Do not announce you're looking for a new job. Be careful to update your LinkedIn status to open to work if there's any chance your organization will see it. This operation is on a need to know basis, and right now, only you need to know. Well, and your significant other, of course. Here's your game plan for building the exit plan. One, polish your resume and portfolio. Do this on your own time and your own computer. Focus on accomplishments with numbers and results, not just a list of duties. Show your value. Second, activate your network discreetly. Reach out to trusted former colleagues or mentors. A simple, hey, I'm starting to explore what else is out there and I thought I'd reach out is perfect. Stay positive. There's no need to talk trash about your current company. Number three, become a job board scholar. Dedicate a couple of hours a week to just looking. See what's out there, what skills are in demand, and what companies you get excited about. This is market research. Number four, upskill on the fly. Notice any skill gaps for jobs you really want. Now is the time to feel it. Take an online course, get a certification, find stretch goal opportunities at your current organization. This is a proactive investment in the future of you. And number five, prep for the why are you leaving question. When you land interviews, you know this question is coming. Never ever badmouth your current boss or company. Instead, frame it with forward looking positivity. Try something like, I've learned a ton in my current role, but I'm really eager to find an opportunity where I can grow in a more collaborative environment and take on new challenges. An escape plan changes everything. Every crummy day at the job feels different when you know it's temporary. Rather than thinking you're stuck, you're gathering intel and resources before you launch into your next, much healthier adventure. So there's your survival kit. Shift your mindset to build that emotional armor, document everything like a pro, set and reinforce rock solid boundaries, build your support system, and most importantly, create your escape plan. Toxic work environments don't just drain your energy at the office, they often spill into your relationships, your self worth, and how you show up everywhere else. That's why the next step isn't just about better boundaries at work, it's about healing what that environment may have stirred up in you. If you've ever found yourself comparing your path to someone else's, feeling resentment towards a friend, or doubting your worth after being chronically overlooked or dismissed at work. It's more common than what you think. These emotions aren't proof that something's wrong with you. They're clues pointing to an unmet need or unhealed experience. They're signs that something deeper needs attention. In the next video, how to deal with envy and jealousy in relationships, we'll explore how to work with these feelings in a grounded, self-compassionate way so they stop running your interactions and start revealing where you really need care, clarity, or connection. It's linked right here and in the description.